Hey everyone, I'm going to wait for some folks to filter in. I'm going to give it an extended window of time. It is now 7:41. If we do not have any viewers by 7:45, I'm going to cut it because, just like me, I'm watching the president's rally live. I'm listening to it out of my left ear. However, I came up with a really decent analogy. Will not be a long broadcast, but I think I've come up with a fantastic analogy that will help maybe even some people who are maybe they're new to politics, maybe they're new to following, because I was one of them. I voted for Barack Obama in 2008, and then in 2012, after I woke up to what was really going on, I said, I'm never voting again. I'm never voting again. And I've done this one watching, very cool. I've done this or I've told you guys this fact story. Hello, Indiana Jones. What up? You know, I'll do this show just for Indiana Jones. I said the other night I wouldn't do a show for just one person. I'll do it for just Indiana Jones. And you know what? I'm going to stop my opening monologue, and I'm just going to say it right now. What the Democrat Party, Joan, and other audience is attempting right now and going through right now is, it's sad to watch, but it's also funny to watch because it's like, because I'm not a restaurant chef. I'm not as good as a restaurant chef at all, but I'm a decent cook in the kitchen. Ben Call 45, yo, what up? What the Democrats are doing is this, and it's a very big mistake. And we can even take the whole bullshit impeachment thing right the fuck out of it, full stop in the beginning. The messages I was sharing with someone earlier, who happens to be like-minded, granted. What the Democrats have done is they put up 17 or 19 or 22 candidates starting on, and then, you know, all the flakes dropped off, and they have a few. Like Tulsi Gabbard, I think in a few years, Tulsi Gabbard would be a fine president. I don't like her stance on guns, but aside from that, I think she'd be a fine president. There's a lot to work on there. Just like moldable clay, there's a lot of pressure that our side, if Tulsi is the Democrat nominee in 2024, because she's not going to be allowed to be the nominee in this election season. That's been proven. So let's assume it's not Hillary. My assessment from growing from basically a novice in politics, but having a good background in solid conspiracy research. So I'm always working from behind. I've never had great successes in proving future results simply because I have not attempted them. So the 2020 ticket on the quote-unquote Republican side, Mike Pence is certainly a Republican, but he's really the vice president of the Trump party. So I think we all need to fully understand that. I have no particular affections or disaffections anymore against or for Michael Richard Pence. I think he's a good vice president. He's a cheerleader for Donald J. Trump 2020. He did a good job tonight. So I'm going to leave Pence alone for now. If he starts getting all Pence-y and all, you know, whatever, and in the future, then I'll deal with it as those balls are hit in my direction. But in my view, the Democrats have two choices, and these are assuming that Hillary, rotten murderer Clinton, devil worshiper, piece of shit, does not enter the race, which I believe she will. But let's say she doesn't. And I'm going to read you the text that I'm not going to read it exact, but here's what I sent someone, because I believe it's a very good assessment and a very unbiased assessment. And unfortunately, I have to shut off the president only for 30 seconds to re-access this. Here's what I say. And I'm not a homophobe, okay? I don't care how anyone goes to bed, but this is politics, okay? Who anyone goes to bed with, this is politics, all right? Straight up. So here's what I said. These are my words. Their only hope is butt plug / Tipsy as vice president. If Hillary enters, Hillary / booty fetish vice president, they're fucked. So the only option that Hillary at this point would have, I believe, is she enters and then the Democrats go, Madam Secretary, maybe we can win a little bit now. So our front runner, Biden's in 4th place. Yang is in like 6th. Klobuchar is off the map. I don't even know why they're still running. So my initial assessment was their only hope is Pete Buttplug and, you know what? I shouldn't say that anymore. Retraction. Mayor Pete Buttigieg. / Tulsi Gabbard as vice president. Unless and until Hillary Rotten Clinton, those things I will not retract. Enters the race, in which case it's going to be Hillary Rotten Clinton and Pete Buttigieg as vice president. That's my initial assessment. So we're either looking at a Buttigieg, Tulsi Gabbard ticket, or we're looking at some weird shit happens and it ends up being Hillary Clinton and Mayor Pete Buttigieg as vice president. So we have a known satanic witch and all the things on the internet about her. I'm not making any claims myself. I just relay things that I've read thousands and thousands of corroborating articles about what this witch is involved in and was almost our president. But she was almost our president and has the Clinton name. Despite the fact that it's tainted, it doesn't matter because they have that, politically speaking, they have that thing that they sold us in the 90s on the windshields. What's it called? Rain-X. So, like, normal people use windshield wipers to wipe the rain off their window, or you could coat your windshield with Rain-X and you don't even need windshield wipers because everything just runs off and no one notices anything. The Clintons are Rain-X. Another fantastic analogy would be Teflon. Nothing sticks. Oh, so what about Haiti and all the millions that you allegedly stole? Media won't cover it. It just rides right off the hot pan. You know what I mean? These people are criminals. They're hardcore, long-term, entrenched criminals. I hope I don't get assassinated tomorrow. I'm saying that. I hope I don't get assassinated tomorrow. Here's my second idea. As I said, I have can I even talk? I have credible evidence that Bloomberg is entering the race to siphon funds into the Democratic National Committee by proxy. So he's doing it from the outside. So he's making a little bit of a name he's not even in the polls. He's not even allowed in the debates. But little Micah Bloomberg is coming in with all of his billions and billions. He's richer than President Trump. He's coming into the DNC by proxy, which means by outside force but influence within. That's what proxy means. Outside but influence is inside by proxy. Not that he wants to win the presidency, but he's paving the path for a real candidate in 24, yet unheard of, perhaps someone such as Deval Patrick. And I think that that's a pretty decent assessment on my part as well. Because political parties do have to play the long game. They do have to play the long game, and I can totally see that. How the hell do you beat President Trump? I have his rally until I pulled up my text, but I got his rally on the back channel right here. Oh, that one got canceled. Okay, I'll just click this one.
In every walk of life, we are the party of boundless optimism, excitement, energy, and enthusiasm. We love people. We are asking all Americans to join our incredible movement. People are signing up left and right. But if you want to vote for a weak candidate tomorrow, go ahead, pick one. Which one do you think? I don't know who it is. We are a big party with big ideas for the future. Very big.
Hey, Political Foolish, how are you? Indiana Jones, hello. Ben Cult, hello again. Agent Don Juan, yo.
School choice, because no parent should ever be forced to send their child to a failing government school.
I mean, he's doing everything right, and he's survived one of the most prolific assaults upon a politician in generations. I knew it was bullshit from the beginning. Most of you knew it was bullshit from the beginning. And yet, I mean, I don't know if anyone still watches MSNBC, CNN, any of that stuff anymore. All they do is lose and lose and lose, and they pick up their losses and go, okay, we have our losses, crumbs in their hands, and they go, how do we turn this into a win? Come up with another lie. That's all they have. And the president just continues to go ahead and go, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And if you don't like it, vote me out in 2020. And they all go, oh, shit, he's done everything almost right. They can't win. They can't win. Indiana Jones, you and I agree on 99.99999% of things. And we've talked about this in private. I think all drugs, including the most harsh drugs, should be legalized. And I don't want to say that on my show, but I have to say that on my show because if I'm going to be an honest person, that's something I've said in the past and I still believe it. I believe that personal choice is paramount regardless of consequence, and that doesn't include like, oh, personal choices for someone or someone I like or someone I love or family members of someone I love or, I think all drugs, that this is where I do not sound like a Trump supporter. I personally believe that all drugs should be legalized. I really, really do. I mean, unless it's something that unless it's advertised and it says, if you take this pill, this will kill you today. And it says right in the label, this will kill you today. If people get into dangerous stuff, I probably shouldn't do this. I'm just going to shut up. I'll talk to Joan in private about that one. It's a very, very heavy topic. I know. I've lost 11 friends to opioid addiction and heroin overdose and stuff like that. But, once we allow the government to come in and start saying, for example, do I think that there are some folks out there that could take heroin and live a happy life? Yeah, I've met some of them. So I can't do that one myself on a public platform. And I hope you don't hate me for saying that. But what the government wants to do is seize upon every little niche that they can get into our lives. oh, so there have been, I just say legalize all drugs. Let all the deaths happen. Let all the deaths happen. And then when it gets bad enough, I think the human society is going to say, this is coming from someone who has lost friends and family members to overdoses of those horrible things. Then eventually, if it gets bad enough, folks are going to go, we're just not going to use them anymore. That's I have kind of a weird stance on that one. And Joan, I'll hit you up in person, in private. But anyway, I'm going to go back and watch the president. I just simply wanted to come on here and say that this is an energized president. This is an emphatic president. This is an empowered president. This is a vindicated president who was treated so horribly ever since his election. And this landslide is going to cause such waves in 2020 election, November. This is going to cause such waves. He's going crazy right now. Well, let's watch a little more. Second Amendment. We didn't elect, and I've always thought this even since I was a kid. Well, not a kid, but like 25. I'm like, I don't want a nice president of the United States. I want a Barack Obama. I want someone who says, I am going to stand up to the establishment. And then I was like, cool. I get to vote for a black guy and someone who says he's not going to take shit from the establishment anymore. I'm voting for this dude. Turns out he was establishment. How fooled was I? Horrible. Enter the golden monster, Cheeto-faced billionaire who said all the right things and is doing everything he's saying. Do I agree with everything? No. But largely non-interventionist policies. No more foreign wars of intervention. No more Bush. Bush needs to be in jail. And the other Bush is already in permanent jail, which... Never mind. I don't need to get into that. I am religious in a way. George H.W. Bush is in hell. He was a Satan's worshiper. I'm just going to get out of here before I embarrass myself because I still have 2 brain cells to rub together. So Indiana Jones says they are actually in many ways. I'm going to leave the drug things for us to talk about in private, Indiana Jones, because I don't fully understand it, and I don't like to comment about things that I do not fully understand in a personal capacity. Although I've suffered loss, I've never suffered a loss like you. I'm just being honest. That's all it is. And I think I really kept it together tonight. Anyway, I'm going to go watch the rest of this rally. Anyone who wants to find me on Messenger or... Am I even still on Hangouts? No, I think I quit Hangouts because those people are fucked up. Everything is just socialism. You're a weirdo, Jay, for being... You like the president. I'm like, yeah, I love the president. Fuck you. And then all they do is they just call me names. It's like, okay, do you have any policies? No, because you're a faggot. I'm not even like a homosexual, although I have no problem with that. But so I can't go on Hangouts anymore because it's just it's a beehive, dare I say that, of just like henpecking fucking British weirdos that are trying to take over American social media. It's not going to work. All right, I'm out of here. Indiana Jones, I love you so much. I pray for you every single day. You are not required to agree with everything I say for us to be friends. And I always learn more from you when speaking with you directly, more than I do doing a live stream. And for Ben Cult 45, look at the streets of San Francisco to see the effects of decriminating drugs. Oh, decriminalizing drugs. I don't know. I just think maybe we need a societal cleanse. The minds, and this is directly at Ben Cult 45. Look at, you're talking about a county and a mindset that is run by people like Nasty Pelosi. So of course the people there are going to be like, oh, we have nothing. The only thing we have in our life, because our shitty government, has brought us into relative poverty all around and a total slave state. So of course they turn to drugs. You can't blame the drug. You got to blame the person. Why was the person in such irreparably horrible circumstances given their environment, where California used to be one of the most beautiful states, and now there's literally crap and not even toilet paper? It would be a minor, tiny, I mean, I'm being a little bit sarcastic here, but it would be a minor saving grace if they crap on the streets, can you at least wipe just whatever on the street, pull up the pants, men and women, by the way. And then they just walk into a Starbucks. Maybe they wiped with their fingers. Yeah, I'll have a latte with my government EBT card that allows me to, who knows if they wiped with the card. You know what I mean? It's, the whole thing is fucked up. And yeah, they happen to use drugs. I say, and I don't know, I think all drugs should be legal. If you drop dead because you overdosed too much, you made that decision, something compelled you to do that decision, and the damage done by that is going to cause a lot of families to say, we need drug control. Well, what does that lead to? That leads to legislation and giving government more power. So folks like me cannot smoke a joint. And I have had not a single ounce of a single bit of marijuana today. I like to smoke pot. I like to drink beer. Then they'll come in and they'll say, let's raise the drinking age to 35. And then they'll come in and say, well, since we have this black market thing we've created because people want their drugs and their booze, and they'll use guns to get it, we have to introduce legislation in order to take all the guns away. Government is the cancer of society. It's not the beneficiary of society. In terms of President Trump, he says, we basically want to leave you guys alone. We just don't want other countries coming in, bringing in all their garbage. It's a very, very slippery slope. I understand it, and I'm willing to have that debate with you guys individually. But a debate of this level of nuclear importance, and when I say nuclear, I don't mean nuclear bombs. I mean nuclear like the family unit. Son, daughter, father, mother. That's the nuclear family unit. They don't teach that in public school anymore because public school has been replaced, and we're trying to fix that. In many, or in most districts, they tried to come in with Common Core, where they teach 2 + 2 = 5. How the fuck are you going to teach kids that 2 + 2 = 5, put them out in the workforce through communist training in college? Everyone is equal. Everyone's the same. There's no such thing as gay. There's no such thing as straight white males. There's no such thing as, other races and other skin colors and other ideologies. The left is the leftist communist Marxist, takeover is not about bringing in a system that is going to work for what would possibly ever work in America. The leftist communist system is very simply designed to bring down and crumble and create total chaos, horrible, horrible, horrible things, famine in the streets, bring in the coronavirus, bring in everything, just, men are not women, women are not men, transgender is totally normal, it's not a mental illness, get everyone fighting with each other, and then make it so bad where we end up having violent uprisings in various cities around the United States of America. And so the New World Order can come in and go, we must put a stop to this chaos. And most good people who don't know what's going on, who don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. You notice I wasn't treating Indiana Jones with kid gloves. You notice how I wasn't treating this chat with kid gloves. I'm telling people from my research how I view how it really is, and it's you guys' job to prove me wrong. Okay? I don't do a YouTube show to make money. I've lost a lot of money and a lot of friends by doing my YouTube show based off of 20 years of research that I reluctantly started drip, 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 releasing this information from late 2015 until now, and in a continuum. And I've only released about 10% about what I know, about what's really going on. So the only thing that I ask of my audience, when I'm not just messing around, because sometimes I get, a little tipsy, or maybe I'm hanging out at Blackie's place and I just make ridiculous comments and this and that. Never come to a YouTube show like mine to find what you should do. However, I would encourage you to take in the information I say, and I encourage you to use your own discernment and say, what this person said is bullshit, and what JB said is bullshit. But I agree with that, and I wonder if I can disprove that, or if that applies to my life in any way. And invariably, or at least statistically, some folks are going to go, yeah, I've thought that too. So then people start looking into things, and takes many, many years to come to what's really going on in the world. But I love the president, and I think he's doing the right thing. He's got a lot on his plate. Can you imagine? I used to think when I was growing up, I'd love to be president. I could be president. That's why I decided to teach myself at an early age how to speak properly and how to use vocal inflection and, hand gestures and things like that. And as I reverse trained Blackie to say, this is a pretend scratch. This isn't a pretend scratch. My ear is fucking bugging me right now. But to use things such as that nature to convey messages that these are very serious topics. Don't listen to JB as someone that you should listen to. If you want to listen to me, I think that's great. Take everything that I say, mirror it into your own life and your own experiences, and then either come back or never talk to me ever again. Because I think a lot of the things and the topics, maybe not some of the alien stuff, moon bases, Mars bases, Jupiter landings in 1961, maybe folks can't get into those kinds of things, and I fully understand that. But we need to fix this thing, and I have never, ever seen a president, ever since I left my Obama trance, ever since I left my total fucking Obama trance, there are a lot of folks out there that you can turn to. So what you guys could do is, I hope you've already been taking notes. JB said this, JB said that, JB said this, JB said that. Go do your own independent research into my specific claims and see the other folks that have been saying the exact same thing that I've been saying. Because if we don't get out of the matrix, we're just going to end up in the matrix, and I don't want to be in there. Legalizing heroin will invite the cartels. Good point. Ben Cult 45, what if that allows the DEA to say, you guys have been doing this stuff for years and years and years and years and years. Believe it or not, if there's any, you know what, I'm not educated enough to answer Ben Cult 45's comment there. Legalizing heroin would invite the cartels. I'm not a drug expert. I do 9/11. I do Sandy Hook. Okay, I've said that from day one. Great point there, Ben Cult 45. I have no rebuttal, and I'm going to sleep on that, and I'm going to think about it. Political foolishness. I've never liked kid gloves. I like the honest truth. Thank you, political foolishness. That's why it's open, and no one is allowed to be censored here. Political foolishness. I remember that song by Ellen Reddy, You and Me Against the World. That is our song, a Trump supporter and Trump himself. Thank you, political foolishness. That was neither left-wing nor right-wing. That was very neutral. And I'll look up that song as well. In fact, I have a pen right here, so I'll write it down. It's not a heroin pen. The only reason I had 2 hiccups there is because I've been watching too many of Lady Ann's food recipes, who has just joined us, and it's given me hiccups, although I didn't do exactly the same one. But I did have I did make a ham and cheese with pickle and onions croissant that I just baked it. And Lady Ann is someone who I never thought would show up at a show like JB Rants, but Lady Ann is a fucking superstar. We need to all like and subscribe to Lady Ann, but I got to write down political foolishness's thing here. Me against the world. Okay. There's a very strange phenomenon that happens when I go live on the internet. And it's that I have this, what's the best way to say it? Because everything is sound bites. Someone could just cut one thing that I say and they go, JB said this, JB said that. And they just make their own video. It's like, look at this guy. And they could use my custom-made Trump hat against me or something like that. So I won't let that happen. We have such a community that we don't even understand. It's called, I hate to say this. I really do. Because I see it every day now, and people are calling themselves woke. I bitched about this the other day. Where folks say, oh, I'm woke. I've even seen celebrities. They go, well, I'm woke. They've gone through MK Ultra programming. They've gone through torture systems when they were kids, and they were put out there as puppets, like Jennifer Lopez. I call her Lopez. She's nothing but a show. Yes, your ass looks great, but you're actually working for demonic forces. Do you understand that? If you were all my love and I gave you all my trust, would you comfort me? No, your music sucks, Jennifer Lopez, and you're not even a good actress, to be honest with you. Why do you need to be up on a stage surrounded by, what was, can someone in the chat, what was the show that I didn't watch that happened the other night? Was it the Oscars? Oscars, Academy Awards, is that the same thing? Quick. I need it in the chat, quick. Come on, I need it, quick. If you don't mind. Can someone tell me what the... Yeah, I don't watch the Super Bowl. Oscars. Okay, good. So why are there multi-millionaire Illuminati, most of them on the internet have been accused of running around Epstein, 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 Epstein. I should make an Epstein song. I should get the ukulele. Let's make an Epstein song. Oh my God. My brain is so, like, when you're single for this long, which I won't say how long it is, not too long, but I'm allowed to get away with this kind of stuff. So I don't necessarily want to name this after row, row, row your boat, but for everyone who watches me, they know that I don't plan anything. So if you're Tom Hanks, have you ever been to Epstein Island? Yes or no? Yes or no? Has Tom Hanks been to Epstein Island? Does anyone know? If you are Bill Clinton, have you ever been to Epstein Island? Yes or no? Yes or no? If you are Meryl Streep, have you ever been down the street that leads you to Epstein Island? Yes or no? If you are Hooma Aberdeen, have you ever been to the island of Epstein? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? I know I seem like a little crazy guy, just on YouTube trying to get by. I don't make $1 off of what I do, but we got Lady Anne and political foolishness. So I say, what the fuck is wrong with these people? See, I should keep going. That's gold right there. It's not even in tune, but I just, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. All I do is take in information, put out information, put out opinions, put out information, and put out my beautiful face, right? People like this stuff. Look, everyone, the point is, the entire reason that JB Rants has ever showed up on the internet, even starting in early 2016 or in 2015 under another name. So my earlier name was JB is Neo, like Neo from the Matrix. And then I had to change it to JB Rants because I started ranting so much. I'm like, wow, I should just make my name much more accurate. I got roommates. There's so much stuff going on out there. I don't want them to. They're in the matrix, so I don't want to cause any waves. Can my chat take over for me for like 2 seconds? Lady Ann with all the hearts, thank you very much. Ben Culf, I'm going to read backwards. Ben Culf 45, I don't know what you mean. Me either. Ben Culf 45, I believe so. Ben Culf 45, I believe so. Lady Ann, I love it. Lady Ann, she performed at the Super Bowl too. Yeah, they're all satanic weirdo witches just walking around. It's like, oh, everything is porn. You know, it's a football game. People can go and watch porn, you know? We don't need porn at the fucking Super Bowl. It used to be good like marching bands and stuff and grand performances. Now it's all taken over. I don't know, maybe I'm 35. Maybe I'm just getting old. It's like I don't even look at Shakira and well, actually I do. Actually I do. If I ran into Shakira outside of a bar, if I ran into Jennifer Lopez outside of a bar and I was like, yo, what up? And I saw them at the I shouldn't even say this. If I saw them at their like the peak of their career and they were like bored one night, it's like, oh, I just want to go away from the fame. I'm like, you can get away from the fame with me, baby. Let's go. I'll go buy you a martini and let's go see what that ass really looks like. You know what I mean? Something like that. I'd be a dirty dog. So I fully understand. But on the national scene, it's like, come on, can we have some dignity at the Super Bowl at least? At least the football players are out there taking hits. You're out there taking hits of crack and you just shake, things that are getting fatter on both front and back. And it's like, you're not going to be beautiful forever. So it's like, there's only save it for your music videos. Let's get a marching band. Maybe I'm old fashioned. Political foolishness is still here. Lady Ann says, my daughter is listening too, and she said, you're really good. Thank you, Lady Ann, but also understand that when I go off, my channel is not like your channel. I say words and talk about topics that are very, very beyond adult. And I don't mean like, naked things. I mean like, 2 planes do not knock down 3 buildings and no one died at Sandy Hook. Like I get into, so maybe your daughter shouldn't be listening to JB rants. I'm just saying, if you want her to, I think that's great. If she can handle it, I think it's fantastic. But I talk about things that are real world, and I haven't been researching for 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, and I think it's cool to do what I do. I've known the world is fucked up ever since I've been like, well, pretty much awake, but really for 15 years. So sometimes I might slip into some rants that are kind of, for example, this coronavirus appears to have every perfect element, and you've been given your warning. So, you know what you're getting into. This coronavirus appears to have every signature of the perfect bioweapon, because just today the mainstream media in US and A and also in Great Britain, no one knows what's coming out of China. But USA and Britain are not reporting the fact that the incubation period of this very, very serious virus is not a 14-day incubation period. It's a 24-day or more incubation period. This is not JB saying this. Look it up. Incubation period, unless they've already censored it, but I got that intel at about 12:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. The incubation period of this really, really, really bad thing, which is luckily still, luckily nowhere. It shouldn't exist, but it appears to have all of the markings of a bioweapon, because the incubation period apparently has been extended to a 24-day period. So you could get this virus. Okay, I'm just going to speak slowly. Someone could get this virus infect everyone around them through touch or through a little cough, even if you're not sick yet, just everyone coughs. You could just do that. Dry air, whatever. You could just cough. There goes the virus cloud. And it's actually ocular transmissible. So in typical flus, what happens, and this is why it separates this variety from something such as SARS, sudden acute respiratory syndrome, which was the SARS, which was the big scare back a few years ago. That one was not ocular transmissible. You'd have to breathe it in or get it in your nose. This one is transmissible through obviously breathing in. It's also hand-to-hand contact. It could also go in through your nose, or if someone coughs and you walk through it and you're wearing a mask and you're not wearing eye protection, the virus in the air can actually go in through your eye. That's what they call ocular transmission. It sounds fancy. That means it can enter through the membrane of the eye, and you can get just as sick as anyone else. I believe they've released the bioweapon in order to reduce the world population. And I don't know what to do about it or even how to talk about it other than to report what I've heard about it. Has anyone else heard the same thing? Chat, go. Go. Do it now. Go. Lady Ann, go. Political foolishness, go. Bless your 16-year-old daughter. No one's safe from this thing. So saith my research. I'm not an alarmist, and I'm not a monetized channel, okay? I don't make any money off of YouTube. I don't care about making money off of YouTube. And in fact, if I was monetized, I would turn it down because I don't want to be controlled by YouTube. All I do when I do shows like this is I put things out where it's like, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm noticing, and this is what people should know. Straight up. I'm just telling you. Political foolishness says ocular transmissible. Watch out for the evil eye. That's the evil eye, but it didn't make you sick. I can tell you that. To me, this is one of two excuse me, one of two situations happening, or both, which is worse. It's either the brainiac virus that got loose, or they made it and released it on purpose. It's one of the two. There is no other option. Either someone really, or an agency, not one person, but someone really fucked up, or some agency really fucked up, or they meant this to happen. And I'm not trying to spread fear on my channel. That's not what JV Rants is about. I need as many of my viewership to stay. I have 2 watching. I can't do a show for 2 people. All right. Political foolishness, Lady Ann, I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Please be safe. Wash your hands. Just because someone gets a sniffle or a common cold or even the flu doesn't mean anyone has the coronavirus. But we need to take basic precautions. And I can't do a show for 2 watching, so I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on the next broadcast. I can't wait to see the next Lady Ann. Great, great channel. If anyone is left after I leave and they like things such as a really, really entertaining, good-looking, charismatic, what's the best way to say it? YouTube host and talented live streamer who does food and does commentary and does everything, check out Lady Ann. I'm out of here. Sorry to cut it short. It's just I have so much stuff going on. I can't do a show for 2 or 3, you know. I can be more effective on other platforms. So follow me. I think I'm going to be in, or not follow me. I'm going to go to Gramps. I'm going to go to JujuBot. I'll go to Golden State Times. I'll go to Blackie Fitzpatrick. Not necessarily in that order. And maybe I'll see some of you guys there. Okay? We'll see you.